Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie Fisher. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I am owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. In a conversation a few weeks back with one of my emerging adult buddies, they were wondering if I have regrets about my career path, because goodness knows there has been a lot of schooling. And what they're in essence wondering is, am I wasting my time as I do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, and try to explore the world around me, because I don't yet know where it's going to lead, and I'm worried I'm making the wrong choice, I'm wasting my own time. And I said, as I understood it when I was graduating high school, I knew I wanted to go to college, and teaching and communications, it was one of my first loves. And I had a 12-year career in that, and I loved it very much. In the state of Michigan, you have to do continuing ed, and so it's really just a natural extension to go back and get your master's degree. And so that was one of the things this person pointed to. They said, you went and you got your master's in education, and then you switched and got your master's in counseling. And I said, right, because I was in my career teaching, I was advancing myself in that career. It was while I was teaching that I was noticing gaps in how we were treating mental health in the schools. And so I really went back to get my mental health license to support schools. And then in that path, I found that there were a lot of roadblocks that showed up on the school front, but I was allowed to position myself in more of the private practice arena. And so I didn't know that going into it, but I had good insights that yes, mental health was the next foray for me. Now, it was in my mental health training where I was invited into teaching at the bachelor's level in college in the area of psychology. And so I was able to say to this person, that was only possible because I already had my master's in education. So then I'm allowed to teach at the undergrad level. And so I'm pointing out to them that there's this gradual build over time that I wasn't anticipating. I didn't draw the path, but because I was doing the next thing in front of me, the thing that I assumed was the next step I was supposed to be taking, that just organically developed into really cool spaces for me to enter into. And so now I'm back in school, and he's saying, like, my word, there's so much of this. Is it ever going to be over? And it's like, well, again, as I understand it, my love of teaching is now converging with my love of mental health. And so to teach in a master's level program, you need doctoral training. And so that's just the natural extension. Now, I didn't set out at age 18 to be in school for the next, well, what would it be? I have no idea. Probably out of the last 18 to 20 years I've been in school, 80% of them, right? Now, again, I love education, so that's a non-issue for me. But there are privileges and there's responsibilities that come with that. And one of the things I get to wrestle out in front of other people is I don't know the next step. I just know the next step I'm supposed to be taking, and it leads into spaces that I can't really even anticipate. I don't know where the field of mental health is going to be 5, 10, and 20 years down the road. I don't know where academia is going to be 5, 10, and 20 years down the road. What I know is I live my life at the intersection of mental health and academics, and so there's just a lot of things that could and might develop even as I finish this next degree. And so I'm saying to this young adult, I'm saying we don't always get to pick the path. We don't always know the path. We only know that next little step. And that's actually very common. I think if we go back a generation or two, there was a lot more stability stepping into something and saying, hey, this is my next 40 to 50 years. I don't know that we have a ton of those options. Now, in some domains, maybe, but that's not a typical experience right now. And so because that's true, and we're kind of revamping into more of a knowledge economy and into more of the trades, it's like I only know the next little step in front of me. Where it goes over time, it's really hard to say. But that's the invitation to give us permission to just look at what that next step is. And I assume 5 and 10 and 20 years down the road, there's really cool things happening. But I get there by taking just that next little step. I don't consider it a waste of time. I don't consider detours to be problematic. They're really just a part of the journey.